Civilization or Barbarism in Authentic Anthropology by Dr. Cheikh and Diop. Imagine that if in 2000 years the descendants of the African students in Paris and in London maintain obstinately that their ancestors had taught modern scientific theory to today's Western world. The situation would be identical. Let us go back to the Tiamas. The world contains four species: gods, fish, birds, earthly animals. Tiamas 40e. It is an analogous classification that we find in the Heliopolitan cosmogony, with the appearance of the beings with which Ra populated the universe. Plato then gives the generation of Greece's common gods with contained irony. Oceanus and Tethys were children of Gaia and Uranus, Tiamas 40e. One finds in popular form in Greece the Egyptian syzygy, Geb, and Nut equal earth and heaven. In the Greek couple Gaia, the earth, and Uranus, heaven, and so on. Plato then describes the world's soul. About this, Albert Vivaldi notes, by the fact that it does not imply a completely elaborated theology, the Tiamas's doctrine can be interpreted depending upon the disposition of the interpreter as a kind of theory of procession of a still confused and ill-defined doctrine of creation. It certainly seems that in Plato's mind, a conflict of several different inspirations was taking place, among which he did not know how or want to decide. According to Plato, the world's soul is spherical because the circular configuration is the most beautiful of all, for it holds the most beings in the least space. Plato wants to demonstrate that the entire heaven is organized according to mathematical laws and relationships, so many scientific notions that the Egyptians had put in place from proto-history onward with the invention of both civil and sidereal calendars. All in all, the soul is composed of two principles, the one proceeding out of the indivisible, immutable essence of forms, the archetypes, the Egyptian nun, the other from divisible matter involved in the becoming of the sensible world, according to the law of Egyptian divinity of becoming, Khepera. The fusion of these two essences following a determined pattern yields a third principle, and the fusion of these three principles yields a fourth one. Such are the four principles that Plato calls the constituent ingredients of the world's soul, and even of human beings. Vivaldi points out that Plato, who had espoused the transcendental point of view, now makes a concession to the doctrine of immanence, which alters the economy of its construction because the immutable form, the eternal idea, itself descends into matter in order to organize it through a direct action. God made the world with earth and fire. These two elements being joined by a third one in geometrical progression. We find ourselves here in a truly Egyptian universe. And we'll pause right here, continue back with the final chapter, chapter 17 of Civilization or Barbarism. I'm Uriel. Highest heart.